Hey guys, it's Sherry Vegas and welcome back to Artist Tips Thursday. In this quick artist tip video, I'm going to be covering something that's really important when it comes to adding fragrance into candle making, and something that I find that a lot of beginner candle makers don't actually know. If you've ever made a candle before, you would know that your waxes have a melt point and a pour point. So depending on the wax that you're using, your melt point is going to be the point where the wax starts to melt, and that's the temperature that you have to take it to be able to melt that wax. And then you've got a pour point, which is the temperature you have to get it to cool down to be able to pour it to get the best out of that wax. And generally most people will add their fragrance in once our waxes cool down to that perfect pouring temperature. But that might not always be correct depending on the fragrance that you're using. So fragrances have flash points, and I don't feel like this is discussed enough. So a flash point is the point that if you take that fragrance over that temperature, over their flash point, you have a very high chance of catching that fragrance alight. And if you're not following your flash point, you're going to have issues with your fragrance. So paraffin wax and gel wax have got really high melt and pour temperatures. So if you have a fragrance with a really low flash point, like say 60 degrees or under, they're not going to go well with a paraffin wax that generally gets poured around 80, and the same with gel waxes. And you're not going to get a candle that has a great hot and cold scent through, and you'll find that you'll probably lose a lot of that fragrance in that process of being burnt off. Not to mention there's also that safety hazard. So when you are working with different types of waxes, you really need to check the flash point on your fragrances. A lot of the time it will be either listed online on the website or it will say on the bottle. But it is really important to choose suitable fragrances for the wax. So if you are going to be working with soy wax, then a lot of fragrances will work really well with soy wax, because soy wax has a lot cooler melt point and a lot cooler pouring point. So normally soy waxes around 80 and then pouring around 60, which most fragrances will have a flash point above 60. So soy wax is generally quite universal for most fragrances. But you will find if you're going to be using a wax like paraffin or gel, they've got a lot higher melt and pour point, and you need to find a fragrance that is suitable for them.